Opposition leaders, including DCP leader Rigathi Gachagua, were violently attacked by police as they attempted to address residents of Kikuyu in Kiambu County earlier today. Supporters of Gachagua, alongside members of the press, including journalists from NTV and Nation, were also affected as officers in civilian clothing with concealed identities and armed with guns moved in to disperse the crowd. In scenes that many described as life-threatening. NTV's David Mudoka spent the day in Kikuyu and now reports on the events as they unfolded.
What was meant to be a peaceful political rally turned into an afternoon of chaos in Kikuyu as running battles between residents and police gripped the town. Tension was already building by 3 p.m., long before the opposition convoy arrived. Supporters had gathered at Kikuyu Gitaru Junction to receive former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua with little sense of what was coming. The moment his convoy came into view, tear gas filled the air. Pink bursts, thick white smoke, and silent clouds of gas scattering the crowd in every direction. Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka and former Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i were caught in the chaos, forced to flee alongside their teams as the situation spiraled. Despite the heavy police presence, Gachagua's convoy pushed through into Kikuyu town.
Tumekuwa pale tukikuja na akina Kalonzo na akina Matiang'i. Polisi wametuvamia na risasi, wakatumavia na tear gas. Lakini kwa sababu mimi ni mtoto ya Mau Mau, nimesema lazima niingie Kikuyu.
The opposition is now pointing to today's events as evidence of a government they say has turned against its own people, and they are already framing it as a rallying cry ahead of the August 2027 election. The confrontation today in Kikuyu, the political backyard of National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah, was widely seen as a territory-marking stunt.
Alisema Rigathi hatafika Kikuyu. Rigathi amefika hajafika. Rigathi amefika hajafika. Hapa ni wapi? Hapa ni wapi? Kiongozi wa Mlima Kenya ni gani? Nani kiongozi wa Mlima Kenya? Nikiwa hapa Kikuyu, niko nyumbani, siko nyumbani. Wewe Ichung'wah, wewe hapana wetu. Tabia zako Kimani Ichung'wah. Hatuamini wewe ni Mkikuyu.
Hii ni Kikuyu ama tumekosea njia? Hii ni Kikuyu. Rigathi amefika. Senator amefika. Wabunge wamefika. Ay, Kasongo lazima akwende.
Hapo mlimani nimetangaza Operation Fagia ya kufagia wasaliti wa jamii yetu. Nikisema harambee, mnasema fagia. Harambee! Wasaliti wote, UDA, Wilbaro, Kimani Ichung'wah, wa Muratha, wa Machukuru, Soprano, na Kasongo.
Gachagua, who had put on protective gear, was however unable to finish his address as gunfire and tear gas continued in his direction. Journalists were not spared either. As we attempted to move to safety, tear gas canisters were lobbed in our direction, one landing right on my lap, and upon tossing it away, it exploded mid-air. The consequences of a split-second delay are hard to imagine, not just for me, but also for camera person Salim Sheundu and Nation photographer Francis Nderitu. The three of us were at the back of a Nation pickup when the nearly tragic canister landed alongside members of the public who had dived in for cover. One of them, in what felt like a possible final message, whispered to me, "I have children," before leaping out of the moving vehicle. It remains unclear whether he made it out unscathed with injuries or worse. Moments later, officers turned their guns toward our vehicle driven by Julius Macau and carrying reporter Ndubi Moturi and fired a tear gas canister that shattered the front windscreen. This is just one but the many tear gas canisters lobbed at opposition leaders and their supporters, as well as journalists, raising questions about the freedom of speech and the freedom of expression in the country as we gear towards the August 2027 election. David Muthoka, NTV, Kikuyu.
A great and brave job there by the NTV team.